Good morning, everyone. Life as we know it is filled with unpredictable twists and turns. We often find ourselves standing at a crossroads, wondering if we've made the right choice or if we're on the right path. At times, we may feel uncertain, lost, or even desperate. But what if I told you that there's a greater force at work, one that's beyond our understanding, yet perfectly aligned with our needs? What if I told you that in every moment of uncertainty, the universe, or as I like to say, God, is opening the door for you at just the right time in the right way? Today, I want to talk to you about trusting God's timing, His plan, and the beauty of letting Him open the right door for you.
Life is a journey filled with uncertainties. It's almost as if we're constantly walking through fog, only able to see a few steps ahead. The idea of not knowing what's coming next can be unsettling, even terrifying. We naturally seek comfort in certainty, in knowing what lies ahead. The unknown feels risky, dangerous, and sometimes it seems like a threat to our sense of security. Yet, it's in those moments of uncertainty that the most profound growth and transformation occur. We must begin by understanding that uncertainty is not something to fear. In fact, uncertainty is an integral part of life. It's woven into the fabric of existence itself. Every single day we are faced with choices, decisions, and pathways that carry a degree of uncertainty. The key is to stop viewing this uncertainty as an obstacle and instead see it as an opportunity. The most successful and impactful individuals throughout history have all embraced uncertainty. They understood that the unknown was a space where innovation was born, where creativity thrived, and where they could push beyond the boundaries of the familiar to achieve something extraordinary. When you embrace uncertainty, you're not merely accepting it, you are choosing to trust that there is something greater at play, even when you cannot yet see the bigger picture. Uncertainty challenges our control. It confronts our desire for stability and pushes us out of our comfort zones. But here's the truth. Growth never happens in comfort zones. Growth is uncomfortable. It's messy. It's unpredictable. It forces you to adapt, to learn, to stretch beyond what you thought was possible. And more often than not, it's when we step into the unknown, when we take a risk, that we discover things about ourselves that we never could have imagined. We tap into strengths and capabilities that only reveal themselves when we are faced with uncertainty. Think about it. The greatest advancements in science, technology, medicine, and art were all born out of uncertainty. Inventors, scientists, artists, and leaders who changed the world were not certain about their path when they started. They had to take risks, face doubts, and deal with failure before they ever saw success. If they had allowed fear of the unknown to paralyze them, we might never have experienced the incredible innovations and discoveries that have shaped the world we live in today. This is where faith comes into play. Faith in something larger than yourself, faith in the belief that things will unfold the way they are meant to, even when you don't have all the answers. There is a beauty in surrendering to the unknown, in trusting that the universe or God has a plan for you, even if that plan doesn't reveal itself immediately. When you embrace uncertainty, you are not only opening the door to new possibilities, but you are also giving yourself the freedom to evolve and transform. The more you resist uncertainty, the more you cling to your need for control, the more you hold yourself back from reaching your full potential. It is in the moments of uncertainty that you are given the space to truly discover who you are and what you are capable of. It's in those moments that you are forced to step into your own greatness. Uncertainty also invites you to let go of perfection. We often feel like we need to have everything figured out before we take a step forward. But the truth is, perfection doesn't exist. There is no perfect time, no perfect plan, no perfect set of circumstances. Life is about progress, not perfection. And progress can only happen when we take the first step, even when we don't know exactly where it will lead. Consider this: you don't need to see the entire staircase to take the first step. Trust that each step will reveal itself as you move forward. Trust that God, the universe, or whatever force you believe in is guiding you toward exactly where you need to be. You don't have to see the entire path. What matters is your willingness to step forward into the unknown, knowing that each step will bring you closer to the right door, the right opportunity. Ultimately, uncertainty is a reminder that life is not about rigid plans or controlled. It's about journeying with an open heart. a willingness to embrace the unknown, and the courage to trust that everything will work out as it should. When you can shift your perspective and see uncertainty not as a challenge, but as an opportunity for growth, you begin to unlock the true potential of your life. So the next time you find yourself standing at the edge of uncertainty, remember this: it's not something to fear. It's a gift. It's a space where possibilities are born. Embrace it, welcome it, and trust that in the midst of uncertainty, God is at work, opening doors that you couldn't have imagined, leading you to places you never thought possible.
One of the most challenging aspects of life is the waiting. We often find ourselves in situations where we're unsure about what to do next, questioning whether the opportunities we're seeking will ever come to fruition. We look at others who seem to have everything in place, their doors opening effortlessly, while we feel stuck in place, knocking on doors that won't budge. In those moments, it's easy to doubt ourselves and lose hope. But here's the truth: the right door will open at the right time, not a moment sooner and not a moment later. Trusting that the right door will open is a matter of faith. Faith in God's timing. Faith that every step you take is leading you toward the path you're meant to walk. Too often we try to rush things. We want things to happen quickly on our own schedule and according to our own expectations. But life doesn't work that way. Things unfold when they are meant to. And forcing something before its time often leads to disappointment, frustration, and even unnecessary pain. We live in a world that celebrates instant gratification. We can get anything we want with the push of a button: food, information, even relationships. And because of this, we develop an impatience for waiting. But real, lasting success doesn't happen overnight. It takes time, effort, and sometimes a bit of waiting. The process of growth, whether personal or professional, doesn't unfold in an instant. It is a slow and deliberate journey, and sometimes the waiting is just as important as the moment the door opens. When we trust that the right door will open at the right time, we release the pressure to control every aspect of our journey. We stop trying to manipulate the process and instead allow things to unfold naturally. This act of surrender is one of the most powerful decisions we can make. By trusting that the right opportunities will come at the right time, we free ourselves from the anxiety that comes with trying to force things to happen. We give ourselves permission to relax and trust that the universe or God knows exactly what we need and when we need it. The concept of divine timing is one that many struggle to grasp. We often look at our lives and compare them to the timelines of others. We see someone else achieving their dreams, getting the promotion, finding the perfect partner, and wonder, why not? But we must remember that everyone's journey is unique. Just because someone else's door opened before yours doesn't mean that you're behind. It simply means that your door is waiting for the right moment to swing wide open for you. Consider this: sometimes God closes doors that seem perfect because He has something better in store for you. In these moments of disappointment or rejection, it's easy to get disheartened and wonder why things aren't working out. But often it's in these moments that we are being redirected towards something greater, something that aligns more closely with our purpose and potential. Trusting God's timing means believing that the doors that remain closed were never meant for you, and the ones that open will be the perfect fit. The idea of waiting for the right door to open can feel daunting, especially when we are in the midst of uncertainty. But think about the moments in your life when everything seemed to come together at once. Those moments when it felt like the universe was finally aligning in your favor. More often than not, those moments came after a period of wait. It didn't happen immediately, but when they did, you were ready. You had grown, learned, and evolved to a point where you could fully appreciate the opportunity when it arrived. Timing is everything. It's easy to think that we are behind or that we are missing out when others around us seem to be moving ahead. But life isn't a race. It's a journey. Your door is coming, and when it opens, it will be the perfect door for you at the perfect time. Trusting that the right door will open requires patience and faith. It requires believing that even though you can't see the full picture right now, there is a plan unfolding that is far greater than you can imagine. You don't have to force things to happen. The universe or God is at work behind the scenes, aligning things in ways that you cannot yet see. Your task is to stay present, keep moving forward, and trust that the right door will open when the time is right. In those moments of waiting, instead of worrying, focus on preparing yourself for the opportunity that is coming. Use that time to grow, to learn, and to become the person who is ready to step through the door when it finally opens. Every step you take, no matter how small, is part of your preparation for what's ahead. And when that door swings open, you'll be ready to walk through it with confidence and clarity, knowing that it was meant for you all along. So don't rush the process. Don't panic if things aren't happening as quickly as you'd like. Trust that the right door will open at the right time. Trust in divine timing. Trust in the plan that is unfolding before you. And trust in yourself. When you do, you'll find that the doors that open will be the perfect ones, leading you exactly where you need to go.
In our fast-paced, goal-driven world, the need for control has become an almost instinctual reaction. We often find ourselves clinging to the idea that if we just work harder, plan better, or make more precise decisions, we can control the outcomes of our lives. But here's the hard truth: the need to control everything is not only exhausting, it's counterproductive. True peace and success come when we release our grip on control and trust the process that is unfolding in our lives. Let's start with the simple fact that we cannot control everything. We cannot control other people, external circumstances, or even the passage of time. Yet, time and again, we try. We micromanage, overplan, and sometimes even manipulate situations to fit our own idea of how things should be. This constant push to control often stems from a place of fear. Fear of failure, fear of uncertainty, and fear of the unknown. But in reality, the more we try to control the uncontrollable, the more we create stress, anxiety, and dissatisfaction in our lives. The truth is, no matter how much we try to plan and control every detail, life doesn't follow a predictable, linear path. It is filled with surprises, challenges, and unexpected detours. We cannot foresee every outcome, and trying to do so often results in unnecessary frustration when things don't go as planned. In moments of uncertainty, we often turn to control as a defense mechanism, a way to feel safe and secure. But it is this very attempt to control that often keeps us stuck, unable to move forward, or blind to the opportunities that are right in front of us. Letting go of the need to control doesn't mean surrendering to chaos or giving up. It doesn't mean that you stop setting goals, making plans, or working hard. It means that you stop trying to dictate every outcome and accept that some things are simply beyond your reach. It means trusting in the process, having faith in the timing of your life, and understanding that you don't need to have every detail figured out in order to succeed. When we let go of control, we open ourselves to possibilities we hadn't even imagined. We create space for new ideas, new opportunities, and new relationships to enter our lives. If we insist on controlling every situation, we might miss out on things that could take us in a completely different direction, one that could lead to even greater fulfillment than we ever anticipated. Sometimes the very things we are trying to control are the things that we need to release in order to move forward. Take a moment to reflect on the times in your life when things didn't go as planned, but ended up turning out for the best. Maybe you didn't get that job you thought was perfect for you, but something better came along. Maybe a relationship ended, but it led you to discover new strength and independence. It's in these moments that we realize that life is rarely linear, and that what we thought we wanted was not always what we needed. When we let go of control, we make space for better things to come. The need for control also comes with an immense emotional cost. When we try to control everything, we invest so much energy in planning and micromanaging that we forget to live in the present moment. We are so focused on what we want to happen in the future that we miss the beauty of today. Anxiety, worry, and stress take over when we are consumed by the need to control every outcome. These negative emotions drain our energy and take away our ability to fully enjoy life. Letting go of control allows us to step back, relax, and appreciate the present moment. When we choose to surrender control, we open ourselves up to the flow of life. Instead of forcing things to happen, we learn to trust that everything will unfold as it is meant to. This doesn't mean sitting back passively and doing nothing. It means putting in the effort, taking action, and doing the best we can, but without the attachment to specific outcomes. It's about doing our part and then stepping back to let life do its part. Faith plays a key role in this process. When we let go of control, we are essentially saying, I trust that everything is unfolding for my highest good, even if I can't see the bigger picture right now. It requires trust in God, in the universe, or in whatever higher power you believe. By surrendering the need to control, we acknowledge that we don't have all the answers and that sometimes the best outcomes come from paths we never could have predicted. To truly let go of the need to control, we must also learn to be present in each moment. When we are constantly focused on what we want to happen next, we miss the beauty and lessons that are available to us right here, right now. Life is not just about achieving future goals, it's about experiencing and learning from the journey. By letting go of control, we allow ourselves to fully engage with the present moment, finding peace and joy in the here and now. In conclusion, letting go of the need to control is one of the most liberating decisions we can make. It frees us from the anxiety of trying to predict every outcome and allows us to embrace life's unpredictability with grace and faith. We stop fighting against the current and instead learn to flow with it. When we release control, we make room for new opportunities, growth, and experiences that we could never have planned for. It's not about giving up. It's about trusting that life has a plan for us that is bigger and better than anything we could ever force into existence. Let go of control and watch as the right doors open in ways you never imagined. In our fast-paced, goal-driven world, the need for control has become an almost instinctual reaction. We often find ourselves clinging to the idea that if we just work harder, plan better, or make more precise decisions, we can control the outcomes of our lives. But here's the hard truth. The need to control everything is not only exhausting, it's counterproductive. True peace and success come when we release our grip on control and trust the process that is unfolding in our lives. Let's start with the simple fact that we cannot control everything. We cannot control other people, external circumstances, or even the passage of time. Yet, time and again, we try. We micromanage, overplan, and sometimes even manipulate situations to fit our own idea of how things should be. This constant push to control often stems from a place of fear of failure, fear of uncertainty, and fear of the unknown. But in reality, the more we try to control the uncontrollable, the more we create stress, anxiety, and dissatisfaction in our lives. The truth is, no matter how much we try to plan and control every detail, life doesn't follow a predictable, linear path. It is filled with surprises, challenges, and unexpected detours. We cannot foresee every outcome, and trying to do so often results in unnecessary frustration when things don't go as planned. In moments of uncertainty, we often turn to control as a defense mechanism, a way to feel safe and secure. But it is this very attempt to control that often keeps us stuck, unable to move forward, or blind to the opportunities that are right in front of us. Letting go of the need to control doesn't mean surrendering to chaos or giving up. It doesn't mean that you stop setting goals, making plans, or working hard. It means that you stop trying to dictate every outcome and accept that some things are simply beyond your reach. It means trusting in the process, having faith in the timing of your life, and understanding that you don't need to have every detail figured out in order to succeed. When we let go of control, we open ourselves to possibilities we hadn't even imagined. We create space for new ideas, new opportunities, and new relationships to enter our lives. If we insist on controlling every situation, we might miss out on things that could take us in a completely different direction, one that could lead to even greater fulfillment than we ever anticipated. Sometimes the very things we are trying to control are the things that we need to release in order to move forward. Take a moment to reflect on the times in your life when things didn't go as planned, but ended up turning out for the best. Maybe you didn't get that job you thought was perfect for you, but something better came along. Maybe a relationship ended, but it led you to discover new strength and independence. It's in these moments that we realize that life is rarely linear, and that what we thought we wanted was not always what we needed. When we let go of control, we make space for better things to come. The need for control also comes with an immense emotional cost. When we try to control everything, we invest so much energy in planning and micromanaging that we forget to live in the present moment. We are so focused on what we want to happen in the future that we miss the beauty of today. Anxiety, worry, and stress take over when we are consumed by the need to control every outcome. These negative emotions drain our energy and take away our ability to fully enjoy life. Letting go of control allows us to step back, relax, and appreciate the present moment. When we choose to surrender control, we open ourselves up to the flow of life. Instead of forcing things to happen, we learn to trust that everything will unfold as it is meant to. This doesn't mean sitting back passively and doing nothing. It means putting in the effort, taking action, and doing the best we can, but without the attachment to specific outcomes. It's about doing our part and then stepping back to let life do its part. Faith plays a key role in this process. When we let go of control, we are essentially saying, I trust that everything is unfolding for my highest good, even if I can't see the bigger picture right now. It requires trust in God, in the universe, or in whatever higher power you believe. By surrendering the need to control, we acknowledge that we don't have all the answers, and that sometimes the best outcomes come from paths we never could have predicted. To truly let go of the need to control, we must also learn to be present in each moment. When we are constantly focused on what we want to happen next, we miss the beauty and lessons that are available to us right here, right now. Life is not just about achieving future goals, it's about experiencing and learning from the journey. By letting go of control, we allow ourselves to fully engage with the present moment, finding peace and joy in the here and now. In conclusion, letting go of the need to control is one of the most liberating decisions we can make. It frees us from the anxiety of trying to predict every outcome and allows us to embrace life's unpredictability with grace and faith. We stop fighting against the current and instead learn to flow with it. When we release control, we make room for new opportunities, growth, and experiences that we could never have planned for. It's not about giving up. It's about trusting that life has a plan for us that is bigger and better than anything we could ever force into existence. Let go of control and watch as the right doors open in ways you never imagined. Failure. It's a word that many of us fear, avoid, or even reject. The idea of failure brings up feelings of inadequacy, embarrassment, and disappointment. From a young age, we are taught that failure is something to be avoided at all costs, that failure marks the end of the road, the ultimate sign that we are not good enough. But what if we shifted our perspective on failure? What if instead of viewing failure as the opposite of success, we saw it as an essential and invaluable part of the journey towards success? Failure is not a destination. It is not the end of the story. In fact, failure is a powerful tool for growth, transformation, and self-discovery. The greatest achievements, the most impactful breakthroughs, and the most inspiring stories of success have often been preceded by multiple failures. These failures aren't obstacles, they are stepping stones that help us build resilience, knowledge, and the wisdom to move forward with greater clarity and purpose. First, let's redefine failure. Failure is not a reflection of your worth as a person. It is not a measure of your abilities or your value. It's a temporary setback, a detour in the road. When we fail, we are often faced with the opportunity to reassess, to learn, and to grow. Failure is an invitation to refine our approach, to take a step back and evaluate what went wrong so that we can correct it and try again with greater insight, confidence, and wisdom. When you embrace failure as a part of the process, you begin to see it for what it truly is, a lesson. Every failure carries within it an invaluable lesson. If you look closely, you'll realize that the mistakes and setbacks that seem so painful at the time often hold the key to future success. It's easy to think that success is a straight line from point A to point B, but the reality is that success is often messy, filled with twists, turns, and missteps along the way. These missteps are not failures in themselves. They are the lessons we need to learn in order to move forward. Think about the great inventors, entrepreneurs, and leaders throughout history. They all faced failure at some point in their journey. Thomas Edison, for example, famously said, "I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work." Imagine if he had given up after his first, second, or even 10th failure. We would never have the light bulb. Michael Jordan, one of the greatest basketball players of all time, was cut from his high school basketball team. Imagine if he had let that failure define him. Oprah Winfrey, one of the most influential media moguls in the world, was fired from her first television job. And yet all of these individuals didn't allow failure to stop them. They used it as fuel, as motivation to try again, learn more, and push further. Failure also teaches us humility. It reminds us that we are human, that we are not infallible, and that we are always learning. When we fail, we are forced to confront our limitations, and in doing so, we expand our capacity for growth. Failure humbles us, but it also strengthens our character. It forces us to build resilience, to get back up, dust ourselves off, and try again. It teaches us perseverance, the ability to keep going even when things aren't going our way. And it is this perseverance, this resilience in the face of failure that ultimately leads to. Another powerful aspect of failure is how it prepares us for future success. When you fail, you gain experience, you learn what doesn't work, and that knowledge becomes invaluable as you move forward. If you approach failure with the right mindset, you can quickly turn each failure into a lesson that helps you improve. With every failed attempt, you become more skilled, more knowledgeable, and more prepared for the next step. You learn to adjust, to pivot, and to refine your approach. Failure is like a teacher that guides you toward the right answers, and each lesson brings you closer to achieving your goals. It's important to remember that failure is not permanent. The feelings of disappointment and frustration may be temporary, but what stays with you is the wisdom and strength you gain from each experience. It is in the aftermath of failure that we often discover our true potential. We begin to realize that we are capable of more than we initially thought, that the setbacks we encounter are not walls, but opportunities to leap higher, go further, and become stronger. Furthermore, failure fosters creativity. When we encounter obstacles or failures, we are forced to think outside the box. We become more innovative, more open to trying new approaches, and more willing to take risks. If everything went according to plan, we would never challenge ourselves to think different. Failure pushes us to adapt, to change our perspective, and to consider alternatives. This creative thinking is often the spark that leads to breakthroughs. In conclusion, failures are not the end. They are the beginning of something greater. They are stepping stones on the road to success. When you fail, instead of letting it defeat you, let it propel you forward. Learn from it, grow from it, and most importantly, keep moving forward. The most successful people in the world have failed countless times. What sets them apart is their ability to embrace failure, to learn from it, and to keep going. So the next time you fail, remember this: it's not the end of the road, it's just the beginning of a new chapter. A chapter filled with lessons that will lead you to greater success. Failure is not something to fear, it's something to embrace, for it is through failure that we ultimately achieve greatness.
Life is a journey filled with constant change, challenges, and unknowns. Sometimes it feels like we are taking one step forward and two steps back. We encounter obstacles that make us question our path, our decisions, and even ourselves. In these moments of doubt and difficulty, we often feel frustrated, lost, or hopeless. But here's an important truth that we need to internalize. The process is everything. Trusting the process, especially when it's hard, is a powerful practice that can transform the way we experience life and our personal growth. Trusting the process means believing that everything you are going through, both the good and the bad, is part of a larger plan, even if you can't see it clearly in the moment. It means having faith that every step, every setback, every failure, and every success is leading you toward the right destination. This idea of trusting the process is not about ignoring difficulties or pretending that everything is perfect. It's about acknowledging that life unfolds in its own time and way, and that there is purpose even in the hardest of moments. When we go through difficult periods, it's easy to lose sight of the bigger picture. We get caught up in the moment, in the struggle, and it can feel like we are getting nowhere. But these are the times when we need to remind ourselves that the process is unfolding exactly as it should. In fact, it's often during the toughest moments that we are learning the most and developing the strength, character, and wisdom that we need for the future. Think about it. Growth is rarely easy. Whether it's personal growth, professional growth, or spiritual growth, it requires discomfort. It requires pushing ourselves beyond our limits, stepping out of our comfort zones, and dealing with uncertainty and failure. When we trust the process, we understand that these moments of discomfort and hardship are not signs that we're doing something wrong. Instead, they are signals that we are growing, evolving, and moving towards something greater than what we can currently see. One of the greatest challenges in trusting the process is our desire for instant results. We live in a world that celebrates quick fixes and immediate gratification. With technology, we can get answers to our questions instantly, shop for anything we need at the click of a button, and even order food to be delivered in minutes. We've become accustomed to getting what we want right away, and this mindset has seeped into our expectations for our lives. We want success, we want happiness, we want progress, and we want it now. But life doesn't work that way. Real, lasting success, the kind that brings true fulfillment, takes time. It requires consistent effort, patience, and a willingness to keep going even when things don't seem to be moving forward. It's about putting in the work every day, even when you don't see immediate rewards. And that's where trust in the process comes in. When we trust the process, we understand that the small, seemingly insignificant steps we take each day are adding up. They are building momentum and setting the stage for something bigger. In fact, some of the most transformative moments in our lives are those that we cannot predict.
We don't always know what the end result will look like, and we certainly can't control the timing of it. But we can control how we show up for the process. We can control our attitude, our work ethic, and our willingness to persevere. Even when the road is tough, the destination will be worth it. But we need to trust that the process is moving us in the right direction, even when we can't see the destination clearly. Another important aspect of trusting the process is embracing the idea of patience. Patience is not just about waiting, it's about learning how to stay positive, focused, and proactive while waiting. It's about maintaining your faith in the journey even when things aren't going as quickly or smoothly as you'd like. Patience teaches us to appreciate the present moment and the lessons that come with it, rather than constantly looking ahead and rushing through life. Trusting the process means accepting that we don't have control over everything, and that sometimes the best thing we can do is wait for the right opportunities to unfold. A great example of this is in the natural world. Think about the process of growth in nature. A seed is planted in the ground and it begins to grow, but it doesn't happen overnight. It takes time for the roots to take hold, for the plant to sprout, and for the flower to bloom. If the seed is rushed, if it's forced to grow too quickly, it won't thrive. It needs the right conditions, time, and care to develop properly. The same is true for our personal growth and our dreams. Trusting the process is like trusting nature's timing. We may not always understand the timing, but that doesn't mean it's wrong. There will be times in your life when things seem hard, when you wonder if you're on the right path, or when you question whether your efforts are making any difference. During these moments, it's important to remind yourself that the process is happening for you, not to you. The difficulties you are facing are part of your growth. The setbacks are temporary and will give way to new opportunities. Success and fulfillment come not from avoiding challenges, but from learning how to navigate them with grace and determination. In conclusion, trusting the process is about having faith in the unfolding of your life, even when things aren't going the way you expect. It's about showing up every day, doing the work, and trusting that the efforts you put in today will eventually lead to the results you want. It's about patience, resilience, and persistence in the face of difficulty. It's understanding that life isn't a straight line, but a winding road filled with twists, turns, and unexpected detours. And most importantly, trusting the process is about believing that every step, no matter how small or challenging, is bringing you closer to the person you are meant to be and the life you are meant to live. Believing in yourself, especially in the face of doubt and opposition, is one of the most powerful things you can do for your personal growth and success. The world often tells us that we need validation from others, our family, friends, colleagues, and even strangers, in order to feel worthy or capable. But the truth is, the most important approval you'll ever need is your own. Believing in yourself, even when others don't, is not just an act of defiance, it is an act of strength, resilience, and faith in your own potential. In life, there will always be people who doubt you. There will be critics, naysayers, and those who question your decisions, your dreams, and your abilities. Sometimes these doubts will come from people who love you or care about you. They may have good intentions, but their fears, insecurities, or limited perspective can make them project their own doubts onto you. Other times, people may simply lack the vision to see the greatness in you that you see in yourself. Whatever the reason, you will face moments when others won't believe in you or your dreams. In these moments, the most important thing you can do is stay true to yourself and your vision. If you allow the doubts of others to dictate your actions, you'll never truly live your life to the fullest. The reality is that no one else can walk your path, see your dreams, or understand your vision the way you do. Only you have the insight, passion, and courage to pursue the life that you are meant to live. And even though others may not believe in you, it doesn't diminish your ability to achieve your goals. Your belief in yourself must be stronger than any external doubt. Believing in yourself starts with developing self-confidence, not arrogance, but a quiet, unwavering confidence in your abilities, your potential, and your worth. Self-confidence comes from understanding who you are, recognizing your strengths and weaknesses, and accepting that you are a work in progress. It doesn't mean that you won't make mistakes, but it means that you trust yourself to learn from them, adapt, and keep moving forward. You must understand that every failure, every setback is part of your journey, not a reflection of your worth or capabilities. The road to success is rarely smooth, and there will be many times when you feel like giving up or doubt whether you are on the right path. But in those moments, you must remind yourself that your belief in yourself is what will carry you through. The world may tell you that you're not ready, that you're not good enough, or that your dream is too big, but you need to hold firm to the belief that you are exactly where you are meant to be. No one knows your potential better than you do, and no one can stop you except yourself. There is power in persistence. It's easy to give in to the negative voices that surround you, but true success comes when you push through the challenges and continue to move forward, even when it seems like no one is supporting you. There are countless stories of successful people who were told they couldn't achieve their dreams. Walt Disney was told he lacked imagination and had no good ideas. Oprah Winfrey was told she wasn't fit for television. Michael Jordan, often regarded as one of the greatest basketball players of all time, was cut from his high school team. Yet, each of these individuals believed in themselves when no one else did, and they ultimately achieved extraordinary success. The key to believing in yourself is perseverance. The more you believe in your potential, the more you will keep pushing forward, even when things get tough. When you hold steadfast to your vision, the doubts of others become less important. You begin to realize that their opinions are just reflections of their own fears and limitations, not a reflection of your ability. The more you focus on your own belief, the more you'll begin to silence the external noise and tune in to your inner strength. However, self-belief doesn't mean you ignore constructive feedback or avoid seeking guidance. It means that you trust your inner voice, knowing that your experiences, knowledge, and intuition will help guide you. When you believe in yourself, you are open to learning, growing, and improving. You understand that others' criticisms don't define you, but they can be useful tools for learning and improving your craft. The key is to differentiate between doubt that holds you back and constructive criticism that helps you grow. A crucial part of believing in yourself is taking it. It's one thing to say that you believe in your abilities, but it's another to take consistent action towards your goals. Faith without works is meaningless. Believing in yourself means putting in the effort, even when the results are not immediate. It means trusting that every step you take, no matter how small, is bringing you closer to your dreams. When others doubt you, the best thing you can do is prove them wrong through your action. Show them that your belief in yourself is not just words, it's backed by determination, hard work, and persistence. In the end, believing in yourself is about knowing that you are capable, worthy, and deserving of success, regardless of what others may think. When you stop seeking validation from the outside world and start looking inward for affirmation, you tap into an incredible source of strength. The world will test you, but if you hold firm to your belief in yourself, there is nothing that can stand in your way. So when others doubt you, don't let their voices drown out your own. When the road gets tough and it seems like no one believes in your dream, remember that your belief in yourself is enough. Trust in your ability, your purpose, and your vision, and never let the opinions of others define your potential. You are capable of achieving greatness, not because the world believes in you, but because you believe in yourself, and that is the most powerful force of all.